Wow. Let's see how it goes today. Hmm. So we have here the down. The down is below 50,000. That's alright. We have SP, NASDAQ, Russia. So since things are quite okay, in the overall index. Let's see more. Let's see the news. So Tesla Q1 earnings, sales top forecast as company sees tailwinds boosting auto business. Well, I think that Tesla had a great time. This time is over. There are many reasons for it. The only exciting thing is about the IPO, that it may happen, and we're talking here about a trillion IPO, trillion and a half. Let's see how it goes. I hope that will go everything well. Will be very interesting, and it seems that OpenAI will not be able to compete right with it. It seems that there's a clash between those guys to see, who will be the first and things like that. But anyway, that will be good for the investors anyway. Cantaloupes recalled. Well, bad news, right? More profit and less quality. That's not the way. This is moving very fast here. Reclassify marijuana. Wow. So let's see what will gonna happen with something that humanity have been using for 1,000 years. It will be allowed or not. Seattle could lose hundreds of millions in tax revenue as Starbucks spends in Tennessee. Nothing to see here. Would be, great to see this coming back to the shareholders. So if you're not yet, still in time. Meta is tracking employee keystroke on Google, LinkedIn, Wikipedia. Yeah, it makes sense because maybe the copyright data and all of the things available over the internet, the quality is not that amazing. It's totally understandable. That's why we navigate on the internet and we use our common sense and also our critical think to understand what is it, what is not, what makes sense, what doesn't. AI doesn't have this capability, and when it comes to the very employee of the company, well, I'm sure they're gonna do a very good job based on what they have. Also, I had heard that the Gen Z is not doing that well when it comes to AI because they understand they're training the replacement, so they pretty much not doing it. Let's see how it goes. Meta, unfortunately, is not the place that used to be. Many of the initiatives have been shutting down. The focus into AI and also human replacement have been increasing, and good for the shareholders. But when it comes to the workers, it's not that good, and people may remind Meta and they may take actions like closing their own accounts. Also, there's the other point. Meta is great for advertisement. I would say, compared to the alternatives, it works well. It's affordable. However, it seems that there's a huge amount of bots in there. Also, recently, Meta has a patent for human behave, when the bot will behave in a very similar way as a person, and maybe that social networks is becoming a bot network, and this has been for a while. So let's see how it goes, because Gen Z doesn't use that. This is pretty much a millennial stuff, and millennials are unfortunately passing away in record rates. So let's see how it goes. We may not have that many millennials soon enough. Another reason for the Gen Z cannot find work. Well, the reason Gen Z cannot find work is because there are no work, there are no jobs. So we have pretty much the boomers, and everything that goes on boomer direction becomes a problem, and the way they behave and the way they compete and the way they do the huge mess that they had done is just unbelievable, and they will just walk away with it because the older generations are the one who are going to suffer the consequence of whatever happened. It's very sad because the generation that comes before, the silent generation, they had done a pretty good work. They even created the gold standard and things to prevent what we are living in today. What we are living today is pretty much unbelievable, and if you didn't, you better pick your side. Maybe that's the reason why we have this channel in here. You have options. You can think and figure out about things that will keep you in a better stand than just not doing it. There are a lot to talk about the boomers. I would love to, but it's just not the time. It will take some time until I do something. But anyway, I can share parts of it. So we have, for example, the pension problem, that there are too many boomers out there, and there are too few Gen X, also too few millennials, and too few Gen Z. And even for Gen Z, it doesn't make sense work for something they're not gonna have. Today we work to pay the pensions of the persons that are retired today, and we are not paying for ourselves. And there may not be human beings in here or the next generation to pay for us. So among all the options, we have the option to pay for ourselves, and also I suggest something similar for the boomers. That, let's see if it will become a law or not. But the boomers, there are jokes saying that they bought a house with chicken wing, and now they are selling that by $10 million, and it's something interesting to think about it, because they have passed through the highest evaluation in human history, and this will affect everything. But anyway, this is a topic for another time. Let's see how it goes. Lululemon is picking a former Nike executive to be the next CEO. Well, I wish all the best and good luck for Lululemon. Nike has lost touch with the customer base since a while, and it's not getting better. Don't leave, tech billionaires tells people to stay in California. Well, it's a very interesting news, because we are talking here about billionaires who pay way less tax than you and I, and they are just sharing billions in profits while not paying a penny out of it, and they are asking you to don't leave one of the more expensive states into the USA. Well, that is something out of the boomers as well. So if you doesn't know, biggest part of the CEOs or people who hold power today, they are boomer generation. They somehow cannot see much further than themselves. Well, that's it. It's fun, and all the best for everyone. Let's see here the earnings calendar. So, well, nothing to see here, because yields are not that much. All right.